Hello there, SL1 once again. This is my Dark Souls 3, Soul Level 1, New Game +7, no damage run. This is the Catacombs of Carthus and Wolnir, the High Lord I believe he's called. There's my little shortcut of the first area, and I'm going to jack this guy up because he's a dick. He controls the spinning bally thing and he gets away from me, which is awesome, which makes this a little bit more awkward than it needs to be. I should be changing the cat ring right now because I don't need it now I've done the fall. But this was the reason that I'm not going to be fighting too much in these catacombs, because they get back up, and I forgot they did this, and I can't quite remember why they do this, or how you stop this. It might be to do with one of the other people that you need to kill, but I fought a couple of these dudes, I put them down, and then when they died, they got back up. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do this area, but this is an example of me taking on some skeletons, because I do quite like them. And then that happened, and it was like, yeah, this is a bad idea. There's a nice bit of frame rate dropping. And he starts throwing those pots, and then I'm just going to push this way, hit this trap just in case anyone's following me, and then we're going to drop down with the cat ring still on, which is why I kept it, I believe, and then we're going to hit the bonfire. Be careful of the rats. Once again, though, folks, the rats are quite fair in these games. The first game, they're not. The rats in the first game are dickheads. They'll stunlock you. They're a nightmare. But Bloodborne changed things with rats. Bloodborne made it so that the rats almost always telegraph what they're going to do, or they don't do anything, and that makes them really fair. And if you see them move, you can tell exactly what they're going to do by how they move. And I love that kind of design. It's one of the areas where I think the game lacks in other places. Like, you know the old Demon King? How when he starts banging the drumstick on the floor, it can do one of two spells? Why is it the same cast? The casts should be different so we know what the spell is and how to punish it accordingly. And it makes no sense in that fight as a good example, because in that fight he swings it in the air when he does the meteors, but the bottom one, there's two different results for the same animation. It's the same as Soul of Cinder. The Soul Mass should not be the same animation as the Crystal Soul Spear. They should be different, because there's times when you could have punished him because he was going for Soul Mass and you didn't, and then the time when you try to punish Soul Mass, he Crystal Soul Spears you in the face. And I just completely disagree with that ambiguity. I don't think it's fun. It's the type of stuff that all it takes is a slightly different animation, and it's amazingly well designed, but it just isn't, so it leads to awkwardness. And speaking of awkwardness, I never recommend fighting these fellas. These fellas are some of the most difficult enemies in the game. They're goofy, they're weird, they're fast, they're dangerous, they've got good range, and luckily I managed to get that guy without too much incident. And here comes the rat. See how he does his little prostration before he does anything? Rears on his hind legs, and then he attacks. If you see that, they're going to swing. It's pretty much that simple. So I'm going to put Slumbering Dragon Crest on potentially, because I'm going to be running past a Red Eyes skeleton. I smack the Crystal Lizard just for old time's sake, and then it kills itself because it has a fetish for falling through that wall for some reason. I'm going to open up the shortcut quickly here, once we've got our fire gem, and I'm not going to be engaging any more enemies in this zone, guys. We've killed a few now. We've kind of hit the quota. It's time to face Wolnir. So Wolnir killed me a few times on this run. I was really upset. On my practice run at New Game +6, I think I got him first attempt. On this, it took about 5, because I just kept getting hit by that swing. And I was standing near his other bracelet trying to do damage to it, and I was like, he can't touch me with his hand here. His hand doesn't even come near here. But it does. It still hits you. And I've got a whole host of footage of me stood there swinging away. Nothing touches me, but I fucking die. So it was kind of awful and awkward. But here he goes. So you want to go for his right hand first, and there's a nice little opening hit on that right hand if you charge an R2 at the right time, but I just messed it up then, so don't follow that as an example. If you go for the left bangle first, you can get into a situation where the right bangle will never be outside the fog, and the fog kills you. The only real danger here is the fog, really, getting yourself caught in the fog and the summons that are going to be happening in this fight, which I'd never recommend letting it get that far, but it did, so what do you do? Here comes his backhand, roll through it, punish his other hand. I'm going to do a charge one, and then I'm going to do a quick swing, and of course he moves his limbs. Here comes the breath. To dodge the breath, if you stand under his chin, you can actually hit his hand as well in certain positions. Specifically, his right hand is the easiest to hit during this phase, but just stand under his chin like that, and then this means he's summoning minions, and this is where I started to think that this run was actually done for, because the moment these dudes turn up, it's just chaos. So I blast in, hit the bangle, get a stun on the bangle. I know it can't take too much more, so I rub the pine resin, start hitting back on it, and here we go. Shit starts to get disco time. So we've got two standard fellas just chilling out. He does a jump attack, it misses. There was a nice swipe from Wolnir. That was a bone wheel skeleton, so I'm incredibly concerned right now. They can attack through his arm, so be very careful. There's the bone wheel. There's the second bone wheel from off screen that I didn't see. And then Wolnir does me a solid by killing almost everything. Here's another bone wheel. See you later, friend. We do two quick swings. Can we get a third? The third breaks the bangle just as the bone wheel's about to conflict with my body, and nothing. That was pretty awesome, I thought. A really, really exciting fight for a Wolnir fight, and it shouldn't have gone as well as it did, even though it kind of went pretty shitty. So there you are, folks. That is the end of the Catacombs. That is the end of Wolnir. That's the soul level 1. There are the souls to guarantee that it's above New Game Plus 7, if you're curious. I'm not going to show you a million swords, because I don't have them. This is New Game Plus... This is New Game, modded to New Game Plus 8, I think. Because I put A to 8 clears of the game, just to make sure. But thank you for watching. You take care now.